This is the General Shill show where we talk DeFi, GameFi, and play to earn. Today, we're going to do some technical analysis, some price technical analysis for CBT, DRIP, BNB. It's not financial advice, but hey, your boy knows some things and I'm going to show it to you. Let's get into it.
General Shill, never chill, we making mills. DeFi and game to the moon, yeah we shoot high. Drop the airdrop, make it pop. Yeah we going to the top. General Shill, how you feel? Making mills, make a million, turn it to a billion. To the moon, no ceilings, yeah we shoot high. General Shill, to the moon, yeah we gon' fly. Got no chill, General Shill.
So, guys, let me show you guys what I've been up to and what I'm looking at. So, technical analysis is not exact. You try to look at patterns of what's going on and onto that uh, chart that you're looking at. Today, I'm looking at CBT. Why? Because this is a token and ecosystem that I'm heavily involved in. Obviously, we have scholarships and I have several teams. I have other people's teams that I'm working with. I have managers that I'm working with. Everything. We got a whole little ecosystem going on there that we're doing. And obviously, if you're watching this and you are a manager and you want some of that load taken off of you, DM me or add us to your Discord and then find me and DM me and I'll get you in plugged in to my community so that you can get some good scholars on your team and replace them when they have issues. So let's talk about CBT today. So I wanted to show you guys what I have been doing. The last time that we had some patterns showing up. This is a descending triangle here. This is a bullish form here. And what I left this here just so I could remind myself what I thought it was going to do based upon this descending triangle. Obviously, this is a bullish form or pattern here. And I drew this line going up here. I thought it would end here, which it did, and go up. It didn't do it as fast as I thought it would. Obviously, it was a little more drawn out. It was like this. See if we can draw that line. Yep. All right. So the line ended up being like that, and then it looks like it was going to play out again. So I drew this triangle here before it ended up happening, and it ended up doing it again. Okay. So this has done this twice. So I anticipate something like this to happen in the next 2 weeks. We'll see. We have updating things that are happening in the ecosystem. Now you can pay, or excuse me, you can mentor exclusively with CBT. Whereas before you had to use CBT and BUSD. Now you can do it exclusively with CBT, which is going to cause more CBT to be burned. And for people incoming into the ecosystem, they're going to buy CBT if it's going to be cheaper than them using the BUSD option. So we'll see how that transforms. Actually, they recently put that into place, so I could see this continuing on for a little bit longer. Well, here, let's see. This was from, let's see, when it got to the bottom. From the bottom to the top, it was about a 24-hour thing there. So let's see, probably about right. That'd be right here to right here. So that would probably take us out to somewhere around there. Let me see. All right, that take us right here to somewhere about 13. But we'll see how that affects the price action for CBT, those changes that they did make. One thing that I'd really like to see from the Cyball group is a burning mechanism. I'm sorry, they have the burning mechanism. They have a lot of burning mechanisms. Let me make sure I make that clear. They have a lot of burning mechanisms, but I would like to see a link on the page that has like a minting to burning a map or graph so that we can keep track of it as people who are entering the system and thinking about those things because the competitors have that. And I know one thing about the Cyball team, they like to make sure that they have the good things that are coming from the competitors and implementing them into the ecosystem. If you have a big portfolio or if you're a big guild and you're ready to pump in a lot of money into this organization, they like to see those things. They don't like to have to take hours just to figure out, okay, well, how much did they mint today and how much did they burn today. It's nice to just have that one page you can go to and see it all. It's good for your mental, just thinking about the price when you go to sleep at night, but it's also good for those folks who are putting in lots of money, more money than I have access to, into these ecosystems. Those are things they want to see. But we know what's happening. Here's a little bit of the price technicals that I have on CBT. So let's get into one of the other favorites of mine, the Drip Network, baby. If you watch my channel, you know this is one of my favorites. Um, So, Drip Network pays 365% APR from the faucet. Um, so, Drip Network has been on this downtrend that I tried to keep track of here up until it had a breakout on the 7th. It's had a breakout of that. So we're in the price discovery phase right now. Uh, oops. Okay. So we had a kind of a line of support here. We broke that line of support, and we're starting a new, what looks like to be a new downward trend. We're gonna watch this and see how things go. If you guys looked at my first time I covered Drip, I went into detail about why April was critical and very important to Drip Network because the people who got in on the pre-sale last April, their 1 year of getting 365% is going to be up. Remember, this ecosystem, they don't pay you 365 forever just for making that deposit. They only pay you it once. So once you get to 365, if you don't deposit anymore, you're cut off. And that's part of the thing that's keeping this system sustainable. You have to continue to put things into it. Kind of like how Cyball is doing their CBT boost thing that they have, where when they come out with a new token, if you haven't been coming back into the ecosystem, they're going to give you, they're not going to give you as good unlocking terms when you get those tokens. Whereas us folks that have been putting back into the system, we're going to have more aggressive unlocking for the new token that they're going to release for governance. Um, so, you get rewarded for the way that you act and interact with the contract. And Drip has that. So those folks will be cut off this month, April 2022. So we'll see how that acts. I've already seen a little bit here. I was hopeful that it was going to get changed here for the long term, and we get this upward trend. But let's zoom out here and look at the 1 year view, or excuse me, 6 months. All right. Yep. Okay. And just for you folks that are doing your own research, you're going to have to go to Drip's website. We'll have the link down in the description. With our buddy code, you can join our buddy code for airdrops and whatnot. That's an anonymous feature, but you have to have some type of buddy code from somebody from the Drip Network. We hope that you appreciate our work and use our buddy code. If you don't, thank you for liking and subscribing. But this calendar, excuse me, not this calendar, this chart here starts on July. Why does that happen? And I'm telling you guys that they started in April. Well, they have their own DEX. They have their own decentralized exchange. If you go to the website on the Drip Network, you'll see that if you hit trade, they have their own DEX there. You'll have to go back on their DEX's timeline to go back all the way to July, because that's the only way you could buy Drip was on their webpage when it first couple months it came out. The only problem with that is there was absolutely no visibility on things like DApp Radar and whatnot, CoinGecko, all these other websites that use PancakeSwap as their definitive information point for finding out if a project's being successful or not. So obviously, Forex, the really good developer that they have out there, one of the best in DeFi for the stuff that he's been doing over the last couple years, particularly Drip, or he's most well known for Drip. He had the idea to make a liquidity, or he made his own miner, mind you. He's got his own miner fork for Drip, and this endless liquidity pool that feeds into PancakeSwap, and it's the Drip BUSD pair. The one that's on their decks is the Drip BNB pair. So there's a bit of an arbitrage opportunity there for guys. But if you're a small me now or shrimp, you're probably not looking at that for any kind of gains. Your biggest gains are probably going to come from that 365% that you'll get from the faucet. Okay, so yeah, I'm just showing here this downward trend that we have going on, and the breakout. So we're in price discovery. So when you zoom in, this little downward trend looks like something, but it's very minute in the grand scheme of things. We need to see how April goes and how things play out after that. But if you see here, the selling pressure and the volume was very, very high. Volume has gone down on the downtrend, and that typically indicates that the sellers, there's less sellers in the market. I mean, you can see that. Look at that volume. There's less buyers and sellers. So, particularly having less sellers out there, the sell pressure is going away. That means that the people who are selling are starting to think that this price is low enough. They really don't want to. They really don't want to sell anymore at that price. They're waiting for this next roll up. Drip kind of does this thing. It has a peak, and then it has a correction, peak, correction, and I'm hopeful for another peak after this. So let me go ahead and draw that line on there just to note it for myself where I thought it might go. Oh, it's not the one I wanted. Try that again. Okay. Probably have a little fake out. All right. So we're going to leave that there for the next time we come back to it. Now we're going to go into BNB. I haven't done a lot of charting on BNB on Dex Screener. If you guys wondering why I'm using Dex Screener and not TradingView, well, TradingView does not have all the tokens. Dex Screener does, and I can do the basics of what I'm looking for. Um, oh, I did do a few things here. So the reason why I'm charting BNB, I don't keep too much BNB, but I'm in projects that are backed by BNB. So we have to keep in mind what BNB is doing. Obviously, at the peak of the market, let's see here. Really want to get on a bigger time frame for BNB. Because we have that data and that information. I don't make moves off day to day trading changes, because I'm long term in projects. So BNB, very similar to Drip, actually has been in this long downward trend. They had a breakout. Let's see, that's last month, and I drew this new resistance line here, and uh, this new support line here after that. So let's see if we can get in here a little bit. So what may happen here, and this is a upward moving trend line here. So That is bearish, guys. That is bearish. This is a bearish line when it's going up like that. So what could happen is we can move up and down here, and possibly go to the downside and hit some new lows on BNB. We'll see where that goes. Obviously, if we break this trend line, or this will change how I feel about that. But we'll see how it goes. All right. So if you guys have any tokens that you would like me to review, put them down in the comments. If I get enough of them, we'll definitely do that. The next time we cover this will probably be about a week. Thanks for stopping by.